Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Evan here and welcome back for another Cardfight Vanguard 0 deck profile. Today we have my baby deck. This deck I got in the Legion era and has been banging people hard ever since. It's my Revenger deck. So my Revenger deck here is actually 8 crit, 1 draw. You might ask why crits, because in this deck you actually hit over your hand limit ridiculously often by your first stride. It's stupid. So running crits is actually one. It helps you equalize the game faster. That's one good thing about it. It's really good early game pressure because when your opponents are higher damage, it's easier to kill them. And I get the ratio is kind of weird, like why I only run 8 crits and why not 9. My reasoning for that is sometimes you want the draw trigger. The main weakness with this deck is really defensive checks. When you defensively check a critical trigger, you don't get anything from it, like as opposed to a draw. So having that one draw is really needed, just so that if you damage check it, at least you have a chance of drawing it. And you know, this one draw, it's only okay. The weird thing is running one draw is actually the most ideal because for the most, your hand is usually around 8. So if you sack this draw on your drive check, more than likely you have shields in your hand, so you won't hit that hand limit when you draw for your next turn. And that's why I only run 1. When I ran 2, I actually hit my hand limit again so much, and it was really dumb. And obviously we run 8 crit because it's the 4 Revenger crits that you can run, the 2 kinds, the Legion and the Break Ride. The Break Ride's so good because it gets you a free unit on board that can also retire, and the Legion's good because big Legion resigning Vanguard, and when this thing sacks crits, it's lethal. It's really fun. And for the grade 2s, we have 4 Abyss, 4 Mana, and 4 Blaster Dark Avengers. Given, this is the only card in here that's very much a given because we also have the we also have the Dorant. The Dorant here is actually kind of important because it's your only CC in this deck other than the PG. So they're like a package for the most part. Mana, because Mana gets a free unit out of the deck temporarily as either a sack target or as a filter target. So when your deck's about like 8 cards, you can filter that one Revenger grade 1 so that your deck's down to 7, do your triple drive, and if you sack any triggers, you're down to like 5 or 4 cards. This will go down to the bottom of the deck so you have more information on the remaining cards of the deck. So that's why Mana's good for terms of the later game, and also she's just a free call which you can sack from later. That's actually really good. So you might be wondering why we run 4 Abyss. Bro, you have to Legion. I ran 3 for the longest time, and eventually it started ramming me in the butt where I'm like, wow, I can't Legion because I have 2 Legion mates in damage and I have 1 in soul that I can't soul blast for my life. So I run 4 for the sake of consistency. Can you drop it down to 3? Yes, however, be warned that the consistency may drop and you might be stuck with not being able to Legion and decking out or just losing the game. So that's also why it's kind of important. And there are some fairly relevant grade 1s in the game right now, like Pia for 1, for Neonectar, Messiahs, you have their grade 1 that locks and counter charges. So there are some relevant grade 1s you want to shoot down as well. So this is really the flex spot. I chose to run Tartu here because it's basically a 5th mana, that being a counterblast cost. You can run anything for this spot, but I do like another grade 2 where I can call another unit from the deck. For grade 1s, this is obvious. Obviously, we have the 4 CCPGs. You can run the Revenger ones, yes, but you need the CC a lot, and this is the one thing you can give up not being Revenger. For the most part, you're not ever going to call this unless you either have a really crap hand and you need to push, or you have a crap hand and you need to sack it for Aura Gazer. That's the only time you want to call this. Or, funny enough, if you have a lot of PGs in hand, you can find this from your deck, call it, and sack it so you can CC. That's another use for it. Other than that, you generally don't want to call it for the Revenger name. We have now, the main spice of this deck is triple Swordbreaker. I'll also get into its value later, but why I run 3? For consistency. Because you want to hit double Swordbreaker as much as possible in this deck specifically, and I will explain to you why when we get to the starter. And this is like, again, another flex spot here. So this like flex spot, this can be anything, but again, I want the Trumpeter. The Trumpeter is good because it gets you a unit that you can just sack. I get it's a counterblast cost, so you have to kind of, you know, selectively use your counterblast because it's kind of hard to max in counterblast with this deck unless you're very greedy with your Blaster Dark Revengers, so or the game was drawn out that long. But even then, again, you know, another board builder, board extender. And why Oh yeah, sorry, before I forget, and we have the one Karen. So we have the one Karen because we have the one Blaster Dark Diablo which we can search from. And what's important about Karen is that while you have a Blaster Vanguard, this counts as 2 units. This counts Blaster Dark Revenger Abyss. So you have 5 grade 3s which you can ride, and this will be live. And when you go to Spectral Blaster Diablo, it'll be live too. So it's just a free sack unit that's really good. And worst comes to worst, if you have this in hand and you don't have any grade 3 by any means, you can at least search for this one card. Good to know as well, when you draw Blaster Dark Diablo in your hand in the early game, for the love of God, try and keep it in your hand as best as you can, because sometimes if the game drags on that long, or you just have a really weird hand where it's full of shields and you manage to first stride, on the second stride you can ride this and pitch any card in your hand to make it a grade 3, which is great because you can this is basically your Spectral Diablo out the butt. It's like, okay, I only have this one card and a grade 0 heal, ride and stride, and then you still get to call a card because of Spectral Diablo's skill, which we'll talk about later, which is really good. And the Forerunner. The mandatory Forerunner for this deck type is Judge Bao Revenger. Why Judge Bao Revenger, you say? Because 8 of our grade 3s have Phantom in the name for 1, and you get to call 2 grade 1s, 2 grade 1 or less cards, not Revengers. You does have to be Revengers, and that's the important part. So this is why. You want to go for double Swordbreaker, because on an Aura Gazer turn, which is like this is the only first stride for the deck, unfortunately. This is the best first stride, it's the only first stride. On an Aura Gazer turn, we're gonna talk about the Aura Gazer Dragon now. When this unit attacks, G Persona Flip, retire 2 rear guards and real top 2 cards of your deck, add them to your hand afterwards. So you get to draw 2 cards from this deck. If it's a grade 1 or lower, you get 5k, but that doesn't matter. But you get 2 cards from your deck. You do your triple drive. Then, on hit, you can then use Judge Bao to call 2 Swordbreakers and draw 2 more. So you're getting 4 cards in your hand for just a simple Vanguard swing. And that's really good. But the issue is, if you hit draw triggers into this, you will deck out and you will just lose all the cards that you draw. That's why running crits is good. Also, it also is a way, in a way, it also solves the deck's issue of not having a rearguard presence, because you can just have a mediocre rearguard, like a mediocre rearguard column, take out the intercept, swing with Vanguard, rip crits, push your opponent by like 2 or 3 damage, usually 2, but if you get double crits, then sacky bastard, 2 or 3 damage, and you get the plus 4 cards in your hand, which will basically bring your hand count up to 8 or 9 at that point. That's why it's super good and it's super necessary for this deck, because you can just poop out your hand and just like equalize the game by going crit, yeet. And for the other strides, we have double Phantom Blaster Diablo, because you know, sometimes your opponent just hits all their PGs out or all their grade 3s out so early, and you know you have P's at the bottom, so you're like, alright, give me the free win, yeet. It's a very situational card, but when it matters, it will matter. So you need 2 of this. This is probably like the second and most important card to get in the deck, other than Aura Gazer. You only really need Aura Gazer, the 2 Aura Gazers, and this. Everything else you can effectively function without, because your because after your Aura Gazer, you generally break ride Legion or just straight Legion to get 2 more cards in your hand and to rip crits and just keep pressuring it. We have the one Doomed. So Doomed does kind of come up sometimes. So where does Doomed come up? Doomed comes up where it's not, you know, it's not worth it to Legion. You just don't have enough Revenger units to really make it happen efficiently without nuking your front row. And it does happen with this deck. That's the one caveat about it, because you don't have enough Revenger units sometimes. But it's very far and few between where that will actually happen. But in that case, where you have like units on board, like you have a Karen, then you can by all means go into this card, hopefully shoot their intercepts for free. If not, you at least get to replace units on board with 2 new units. So that's the one time it comes up. And he gets a crit because you have if 3 or more, if you get one retired with 3 or more, this also gets plus. So I guess the crit's not really that important, but yeah, I'm sorry, I never actually ever got the crit for the most part, so I just want to make sure that I'm telling their information here. Now we have 2 Spectral Blaster Diablo. Do you need 2 Spectral Blaster Diablo? In my opinion, yes. Can you get away with 1? Absolutely, you can get away with 1. The reason why you run 2 is for the second skill. If you have a face-up Spectral Blaster Diablo in your G-Zone, gain a crit. Because you have 8 crits, first attack gets a crit. Okay, it'll be blocked. Second attack will have 1 more crit. And if it hits, it's even more lethal. That's the only reason you run it. A Counterblast 2 cost is actually very heavy for this deck to begin with, because you only have, again, one consistent countercharging, which is Dorant and Blast Dark. And then you have the PGs, which is also semi-inconsistent if you don't have it in your hand or you don't have one in drop. Again, I digress, but yeah, you get it for the crit, but you can definitely get away with one. And lastly, we have the one unlocker, because Link Joker's still an issue with this deck, because, you know, we need units to retire to restand. So there are some times where I'm like, alright, I guess I gotta unlock my shit so I can even attempt to get any aggro. But the good thing about this is if you unlock your Avenger units, right? The good news about the Abyss Legion is that you don't really need cards in your hand to really pull it off. You don't need to discard anything. That's what's really good about it. It's not like Thing Saver, you need to discard 2 cards. No, it's fine. Swing-a-ling and just keep ripping crits. So, before we kind of get into some games, what's important to note here is why we're on certain grade 1. So, there are times where even with 3 Sword Breakers, you will draw them in hand or you will ping them in damage. What do you do then? That's where these tech cards come in. So, if you don't have triple Sword Breakers, you probably will have one, and then you can call a card like Karen for your next turn as a free sack target. If you're going first, easily, just make sure Mordred hits with your full bow to get double draw, and if you have 2 Sword Breakers on your board, you can Aura Gazer next turn, sack those 2 Sword Breakers, and draw 2 more cards. What's important to notice though is what not a lot of people know is full bow skill says when attacked by a phantom, when attacked by a phantom, this unit boosts hits, counterblast when draw cards. So if regarding your Vanguard, you can swing at a rear and draw. So if you don't want to call a board because you have a shit hand or a shield hand, you can swing at a rear and draw. Another thing is, sometimes you have like 3 grade 3s in hand, like you have like this and you have Mordred. What's important here is that you can call full bow to the side, call Mordred as a rear, and then swing in so you can draw, and you can get a better line on a side column, whereas your Vanguard can just swing to the side and rear and all that jazz. But it's one of those things where just, you know, little things I want to get it out of the way so that you guys are aware of what this deck can do. So when it comes to gameplay, it's gonna be a little bit mixed and match. So I'm gonna pull some footage from my Twitch stream, and I'm also gonna do a couple gameplays here just to kind of see which one, you know, best shows this deck's capabilities. I will let you know right now though that I will also show games where I lose, because inherently this deck is not like the top tier deck, but it can still very much contend. But if you see games where I lose, that's totally normal. That usually happens when you're either out grinded or out sacked, which is again very far and few in between. But this deck does very well with the meta. It doesn't crush a lot of the meta decks because it doesn't generate a lot of power, nor does it generate a lot of attacks, but it generates consistent aggression and consistent hand. Where hopefully you don't just draw dead units, you can actually draw like shields. Okay, let's see what we get here. Royal Paladin. Okay, this might be actually a good thing, because Royal Paladin is again like a slow uphill matchup, and we're going first. So let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we have. Okay, so in this case, this is actually debatable. Do I want the breaker? I'm gonna be highly saturated in damage, so it's actually debatable. I'm actually gonna send back the Break Ride here. Yeah, the reason why we send back the Break Ride is the Break Ride in this matchup may matter, but at the same time I don't want to focus on it a lot. So I'm gonna send it back. I send it back for hopes I can get more crits in deck, but it's okay. Oh, I still got it anyways, it didn't matter. No, it's okay. An important thing to know, by the way, is when Abyss attacks with a full bow, it will be an 18k line. It's not 19k. So if they get a defensive, yeah, it's not gonna hit. Oh, there's actually Sanctuary of Light. What the? Well, hopefully it's not a Sanctuary of Light deck, but even then, like, World is just really good right now anyway. So. Yeah, so this is the one bad thing about crits, is that you don't plus anything from your hand. This is about the only bad thing though. So we're gonna temporarily thin our deck, get mana. You wanna save this a little bit later, but I need to kind of push here. Going into a swing here. Hopefully he doesn't get a trigger. If he does, it's unfortunate. Okay, he does get a trigger. Oh, if I don't get a trigger here, you know, at least I get an intercept on board. That's okay. That does tend to happen quite a bit for some reason when I play against Worlds. They'll just trigger check on first damage and proceed to shut down the rest of my turn. At least the good news is now he can't actually damage an enemy, so that's good. There's a Sanctuary of Light. Is that a con? That's a continuous Senkai base. Jesus Christ. Wow. That's actually pretty saucy. I've never actually seen like a deck like this, to be honest. Especially in ranked of all things. But then again, you can play anything in ranked. It won't matter. Okay, what I'm thinking is that we should ride this. We can probably ride this. Oh, he's gonna start. Oh, yeah, he still has an alt metal engine, yeah. Alright. Looks like he has a really weird deck, but it still works. Oh, at least the silent doesn't hit. Alright, so now we get to kind of show off just kind of how fast this deck can accelerate a little bit. So unfortunately here, I'm gonna ride the Break Ride because it's actually not a bad thing to do right now. Do I want to keep that? How many triggers does he have out? So he has at least 3 triggers out. That's me. Yeah, we're gonna call mana. I'm gonna bet that he's not gonna hit a trigger here because he has like at least 3 triggers out right now. So we're going to battle phase. Hang on. We'll do this actually, just to guarantee the hit. It's gonna be the same end result anyway. Okay, that's fine. It's gonna be the same end result anyway, but if he gets a trigger here, okay, same end result. So in this case, we're gonna do this, do our usual double sword breaker plays here. Boom, boom. Nice, nice, alright. And then we're gonna, of course, activate our double sword breakers. To draw a card, to draw 2 cards. Okay, grade 3. It's having crits in hand is not a bad thing either, just because you can cycle them out later and push them high in the damage. Another draw trigger, that's okay. So now we have 6 cards in hand. Next turn, if he pushes us to 4, we might actually Break Ride, but we're gonna Break Ride and Stride. We're gonna Break Ride and get another side column and then Stride. Alright, now our hand's kind of crap and we can't really generate anything with this, so we're gonna equalize next turn. That's 4 triggers out now. What does this do anyway? That's such a weird card. Samuel, okay. Well, this is a really annoying card with Royals where they can just ping you a damage. His deck is definitely suboptimal compared to like what an actual Royals deck would do. Actually, the grade 3s don't really matter, to be honest, as long as your grade 2s are fine. Like, you can actually run a Vanguard Arc sub-engine just because, you know, grade 1s. But this is definitely suboptimal over Twin Sword. But if he has Twin Sword, that's a different story. No, just beefing up that line. He's just always casting it. Okay, what is he gonna get though? Yeah, we still have 7 shields in our deck, so that's really good to remember. We have 7 shields in our deck. Oh, just another one, another Sank Light. Okay. Oh, what are you getting though? Techno? Techno got so buffed in this game, by the way. Huh? I guess it's just thinning. Are you actually gonna use that and lock yourself out of Counterblast? Okay, good. We're just gonna swing. I'm probably gonna go. Okay, if he runs crits, it's unfortunate, but I'm probably gonna go up to 3 like this. You could have just swung with Vanguard, to be honest. Oh, that's unfortunate. Let's heal out. That's okay. I'm gonna go up to 4 here. Yeah. Okay. Draw trigger. Okay. Okay. Comfortably going up to 4 here. That's okay. Okay, I have mana. So what we're gonna do here is, do we have a mana? We could Break Ride here, honestly. We actually got enough Revengers now. Okay, we'll do this. This will actually also draw us cards, so whatever we do doesn't matter, but this has a better chance. So we're gonna go with a mana here. We're calling the mana on this side, by the way. The reason why we call the mana on this side is so that we can, you know, get a better line. We're not gonna stride here. We're just gonna do a double mana play here. Doing double mana is pretty good. That way we can just get an easy sack line target. Legion for sure. Send everything except the Swordbreaker. I get it, I'm not sending triggers in this case, but what our plan is here is to get 2 cards in our hand to replace the cards that we just used. We could have went to Orgazer and get more cards, but in this case it's okay, because right now we could probably fetch for some crits and maybe some heals on drive check too. And this being 31k, it's going to be really hard from the guard if I do get a crit. So I'm trading a little bit of consistency for this. Okay, critical trigger, that's Pog, so he goes up to 5 now. And the 1 draw trigger comes in clutch here. The Sentinel's already invoked, let's go. So we're gonna do this. Wow, really? That invokes at 5? Okay though, we got a PG now. And now if we get a crit, that's okay. He goes up to 5 now, which is okay. Unfortunately, we don't have enough shields in hand. I was hoping to get another couple cards to kind of help with the shield value. So if he does have like a transcending, he might pretty much win here. Oh, just under Samuel. Okay, then we might live. We might live here. Normally, this is on any of the road deck, I probably would have died because of the amount of aggro they actually ensue. In that case, unfortunately, we got kind of a break hand. I was hoping to like draw into some multiple shields to help us survive. So this is more like a lucky game, but you kind of see where against like certain decks like Royals, where there's a lot of aggro really quickly. This deck does kind of falter depending on what your hand is and what your presence is. He does have Twin Sword though, which is fairly big, because then he can do this, swing the Twin Sword. I think I'll still live though, that's the only thing. Oh, what? Okay, he's doing really weird plays I don't understand, but it's okay. He's doing really weird plays I don't understand. Okay, well, there's no better play than this. We're gonna do this though. Sending back all the triggers and 1 regular unit. I'd send back the mana. Waga Ken. Nice. In this case, do this, and now he has to essentially guard with everything in his damn hand. Ayo Hun! Get to the crit. Or a heal, actually, I'll take it. We'll at least get to draw here though, so. Oh, boost, boost, boost. Unfortunate. Oh yeah, there you go, there's a crit. They're connected. Unfortunately, you know, this is like a really weird game. Actually very interested in that Regalia deck, and I have Regalia, so I kind of want to build it. Is that what you list after this? I'm very interested. Oh, for the time. Thank you. I appreciate you. Don't worry, bro. Shadow is just gonna keep scaling. The funny thing is too is that Revengers right now, like the way the deck is probably gonna scale extremely well. This is still gonna be a really good deck. The strides will just help it further. Any generic support is just gonna be great because there's more flexibility in the main deck than people think. Okay. Oh no, the Legion. Mm. Same, I want Luard. Luard's gonna be so fun here, dude. I already know it. I feel it in my loins. Get to the heal trader. Okay, let's go. You want to Shadow deck? Honestly, hey, no, Luard's such an expensive deck IRL. Before it was so ass when it first came out. Angelica! I'm not playing Revengers. No, it's spelled Luard, but people also say Lard. Lard is like its meme name. It's actually spelled Luard though. Good heal. Oh! It's on my hit here. Oh, that's a good soul charge. Holy shit. Ooh. Aura Gazer. Idol Generation! Okay, so what's gonna happen here is I'm gonna do this first. See, there's a reason why I do this. Because of this. Ugh. The crit's nice though, it's really not needed for the purposes of this. I was hoping for a heal, I wasn't really hoping for that. This is the weird time where we can actually drain Regalia. And we have heal priority, which is nice. Does Vanguard add to hand? I don't even know. Oh, that's a PG. Ooh. TLDR is gonna heal down, which is totally fine. That's a fire list, bro. That's a fire deck. That's okay. That's okay. Ooh, it's a PG though. That's totally okay, by the way. Sure, bro. Got you.
Vanguardにアタック。
You heal down, I heal down too, beat! And crit! Or draw actually. That would have been a crit, but it's okay. One draw is good. Yay! This is the battle of semantics, to be fucking honest. This is like an absolute battle of semantics. Okay. But you have all 4 heals in deck, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, pretty sure he has all 4 heals in deck. Well, might have one in hand, honestly, from that addition. I also have to send all 3 of my Phantom Blasters back too. Swordbreaker emote. How is it getting that power up? So that's the break ride for sure. It's 30k. Where's the other 10k coming from? This is so. Oh, I see. I see. Norn. Yeah. I forgot Norn's 5k, not 3k. Nice. Make it 22k. Okay. Okay, it's a heal trigger going down a little bit. Okay. That's fine. Interesting. Okay. Oh! Oh. I'm saying this right now, this is a very fun game. It's literally just 2 decks refusing to budge a fucking inch. Seek the meta. Hang on, what's in my deck? Okay, I still have something I can call from my deck. Cool. 1. Wait, what? 2, 3. What's my heal? Waga Ken Legion. Boy, take it as a boy, Vanguard にアタックかそろそろデッキがなくなるヒールトリガーセカンドそろそろデッキがなくなりそうです Holy shit, dude. It's gonna progress if he just ghosts. Yo, this is a lit ass game. I fucking love this. I don't even care if I fucking lose, to be honest. I'm just loving this game right now. 5 cards. Still have Norton drops here, okay. 1 heal, and you have... You don't have any heals there, so you probably still have heals in your deck. Me pissing annoying. Uh-oh. I just noticed. Is your turn gonna end? Oh, you're good, you're good. Oh, you're good, you're good. That's okay. That's okay. This is like, you die, no, you die, no, you die. I'm like, fucking hell, dude. This is like a battle of Ultra-Vision. This is fucking fantastic.
Vanguard にアタック。ファーストチェック。セカンドチェック。そろそろデッキがなくなりそうです。リミットブレイク。ヴァンガードにアタック。ファーストチェック。クリティカルトリガー。Second check.
Oh, that's GG, right? Marara! Legion! This is like fucking. What is this game, dude? What is this fucking game? GG, but that was fantastic. Torgen Tosca! Boom. Wait, did you die from deck out? What does it say? Yeah, you die from deck out. You don't die from damage. That was a very, very well played game, which I will fucking put up in YouTube. That's so good. That was such a good game. Fucking hell, dude. That's fucking fantastic. Grand Blue, actually. Grand Blue is still a very top meta deck, so it's actually pretty good game, actually. Grand Blue is still a very top meta deck, but it does require the player to be kind of high in skill. So we're gonna keep the shield value right away. That's unfortunate. Well, hopefully we draw into grade 3. Another disadvantage of not running draws is that if you damage your grade 3, you can draw to hopefully save your life. So Yeah, this is one of the weird games where I'm like, I don't see a game 3. Oh, thank God. Oh, we can play the game. Alright, so in this case, I'm going to go a little bit aggro against this deck. Because this deck takes a while to ramp up. So we're going to go aggro really well here. And if we get a random crit here, a heal, that's okay. Honestly, if we got a crit, that would have just like ramped him to 3. And I'm like, wow. See what it does. So normally when Doran's in the front row, she's like actually a bait for most people. Yeah, like Doran's actually a bait card. Oh, intercept. Okay. Okay, so this side is gonna use laser to hit Doran. Oh, one sword breaker. That's okay. And Doran's gonna die. Yeah. So Doran is like a bit of a bait card because they know this is our only CC card. Oh, that's interesting. So, I unfortunately can't do anything else. I have to do this. I have to do that, yeah. Because, worst case, I only discard 1 PG for next turn. So it's one of those things that's like, it's unfortunate, but it's how it had to be. There's nothing we can do here. Oh, he just hard called Night Storm. Interesting. Okay, got a critical trigger at least. Again, we don't draw any cards, but this is an okay trade-off. So if she does like get a trigger, that's okay. Okay, then we just stay at 3 now. If we go to 4, that's okay too. And good news that he also doesn't have a front row, which is great because this is an easy equalization. So this is a very easy classic case of Origin. So as you can see, our hands kind of doo-doo, but we can easily fix this right now. Alright, we can easily fix this now. So I'm actually gonna call Dark. I will use Dark to get rid of the Negro Bone so that he doesn't get a lot of combo plays. And I will have to use a PG here, unfortunately, because I don't want to get rid of this. So it's not a bad thing either because at least we get the CC. So we're gonna swing here. And we're gonna swing a Van. We're gonna activate Orgazer's skill and we're gonna sack a PG. Sack these two anyway. Now we're gonna draw something here. Boom, boom. Oh, we got a shield back. That's really good. Now get a crit. We got a crit. This like equally equalizer situation. So we get a draw trigger. That's fine. Boom. That's okay. They're at 5 though. And now we get to do this. Oh, suck it up. And we get 2 free units on board. And now we get to draw 2. In literally 1 turn. So we lost the PG in hand, but we still got up. We still got back up to 8 cards and pushed our opponent to 5. That's so good. And he has to, and Night has to Obadiah here. They actually have to Obadiah. And the awkward thing right now is that you can't really hollow this damn unit. Like if we don't have the Banshee stand that allows us to call and hollow a unit, that would be fucking fantastic right now, especially in 0. Okay, let's see what he does, because I'm actually interested in what he does being at 5 damage so early. Normally, you're not at 5 damage on first stride. Sometimes you are, but very rare. I don't have any intercepts, but that's okay. I had 3 shields in hand. And more than likely, Night decks do not run crits because they need to see their piece units. So, for the most part, I'm probably only going to go to 5 damage with like, oh, I'm losing 1 shield. Probably the heal too. Actually, we actually have a couple of options of what we can do, depending on what happens here. Because right now, from the Night Rose player, I see at least 4 grade 3s out. I can Spectral next turn, which is very likely. So it's a very standard board. Kind of weird placements though. I think he kind of agreed on that bone. Oh no, he hard called that bone. Yeah. We're gonna swing here. That's a crit. That's fine, but at least this line won't hit now. I wanted to actually draw this so that, you know, drawing this is actually kind of big. Okay, no heals either. That's pretty big. Oh, double triggers. Unfortunately, we're losing our crits out of the deck, but We're keeping all our shields. That's really big. Okay. Thinking. We can actually do this. On Break Ride, we can actually do... Power. And we can actually do Spectral here. Because everything's +3, so we can easily do Spectral here. Pretty good. Bold. Oh, we even got Phantom Blaster for next turn. Pretty pog. So in this case, we're at, again, low on resources. We're gonna use this to really just push our limits here. And because we're on a Blaster Heart, we can actually even call this saving our board. That's actually so good. So now we're gonna call Blaster Dark. We don't have a Revenger Bank, so we don't get to CC. That's why I did that. But we're not even gonna use mana. We already have a free sack here. So now we just easily demand 2 PGs from this guy's hand. And because our deck is fairly low, we're probably gonna hit a heal trigger here. I'm actually, yeah, we're gonna go unboosted here. Now this is just straight lethal. Very lethal. And we even get a heal to go down. And this is a PG. Boom! We're definitely gonna do this. Yes. We're gonna count as 2 cards. Probably draw into a shield. Okay, that's fine. This is a 4 crit Spectral. Oh! Okay, I was expecting it to go into another turn and then you can see, oh, I have a bad hand, try and punch through it. But that was murder! That was absolute murder! Oh my god. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Stay tuned for more, and just to let you know, I am streaming on Twitch right now. If you do give subs and follow along, we do Vanguard 0 almost on a daily basis. Sometimes I take a couple days off to go to events or for family, but other than that, usually daily. And just to let you know, look, almost at 10 subs, we do another giveaway. Anyway, I hope I see you guys in the next video, and have yourselves a great evening. Bye bye now.